Well, that was a blast from the past, huh? Surprised that the VHS transfer to digital came out so well. You know, when people get in this situation, they're usually afraid of talking in front of people. And don't get me wrong, that's a little bit of intimidation, but there was a couple things I was concerned about. The first one was finding an outfit. All right, anyone who knows me, not me. Not me at all. So that worked out thanks to my sister. The second thing is it wasn't so much the speaking in front of somebody, it was finding the exact words that would relay to you guys how much my whole Shattering State experience meant. So I'm not as polished as Danny speaking in front of people. I do speak in front of people every day, and they don't listen, so that we're right there. All right, being a teacher, we know that happens. So I'm going to refer to my notes a little bit more than most did tonight, so please forgive me. I'd like to thank the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference and the Hall of Fame Committee for this incredible honor. I'm extremely proud and overwhelmed to be chosen to join such a prestigious group of individuals in the RMAC Hall of Fame. I am honored to be able to, I'm honored to be able to represent Shattering State College as not only the first CSE basketball player to be inducted, but also the first female athlete. I would also like to congratulate the rest of the inductees. Before I go on, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the people that did come a long way to join me. So I want to start with my brothers and sisters. My brother Tom, who was a great athlete in his own right in college. He played at Indiana University, was a lineman. Then my sister Terry, my other younger sister Terry, or Tracy. Tracy and Tom are twins. So I'm very grateful that they made the trip from Indiana and Illinois, we're all from near Chicago, to come. Tom's wife, Kimberly, my brother-in-laws couldn't make it. They had to work. Someone had to. So I thank them for still allowing their families to come. My nieces and nephews. My nieces, my oldest two nieces, they said that I had to include them in my speech. So I wouldn't ever be forgiven if I didn't. So starting from the oldest to the youngest, we have Adam, which we refer to as AJ. Then we have Addison, Casey, Nathan. Over here, we have Juliana, Ashlyn, and Emery. So to you guys, make sure that you always make the right decisions, no matter what, even when no one's looking. And always remember that character is what people are always going to remember of you. They're not necessarily your other accomplishments, but your character is what people are going to remember. So always make the right decision, even when others are not looking. So leaving that to you guys. I would also like to thank three special friends: Mary, Susie, and Natalie. That trio there were all statistical. I guess the statistical group in high school. They kept score, they took stats, so they surprised me, and the three of them kind of made a trip out of it. I mean, it's Colorado, it's better than sitting in Indiana, so they came out, and I thank them. Then, last but not least, my beautiful mother, Val, over here. I'd like to thank both my parents. My father passed away 7 years ago, and if I had to guess, this probably would be tops on his list of things that made him most happy. Right, it even probably would beat the Cubs winning the World Series. So I'm sorry that he wasn't able to see this, but I'm sure he's somewhere looking down on us all. So thank you all for coming. I got one more very important person. And I'm going to allude to her a little bit later too, but you saw her as a recipient of one of my passes there. One of my teammates, and like a sister, Shauna, was Smith at the time. She's a great player in her own right. She actually just moved back to Shattering, and she made the trip from Shattering to come and join me tonight. So thank you, Shauna. I appreciate it so much. I love you guys. So as the video alluded to, one of the questions I always got was, how does someone from East Chicago, Indiana, end up at Chadron State College? And I still answer that question today. First, I guess it's always, where's Chadron? And the second question is, how did you end up there? So basically, as a 18-year-old, it might have been a recruiting story, just the straight recruiting story explaining how I got there. But as my basketball career played out and it came to a close, and definitely as the years have gone by, I recognize it as a life-changing decision guided by Providence that has brought me happiness beyond comprehension. Today, I want to answer the question for you, how did someone from Indiana who went to Chadron State end up being inducted into the RMAC Hall of Fame? In order to adequately answer that question, I do need to explain a little bit more in detail the unlikely series of events that did bring me to CSC. I hope it will help convey to you what my college experience and this award truly means to me. So I had a pretty decent high school career, but the recruiting process was not a great experience for me. I didn't really have many offers and not a lot of interest. However, I did go to my allotted number of recruiting trips, but no place felt like home or the right fit, or the scholarship offers never materialized for various reasons. It was disappointing and discouraging, to say the least. It was getting close to the end of my senior year, and I actually really didn't even sign probably to mid-June of my senior year, so after my senior year, when my high school coach received a call from Kip Cady, the women's basketball at Chadron State at the time. The ironic part was that my name was given to him by a girl who I played against. Her name was Barbie Pollock, so I have to give a shout out to her, because without her, I don't stand here. So I played against her, and I probably never said more than, good game, nice to meet you, or whatever. I never had a real long conversation with her. So I found it odd that she would even mention me to Coach Cady. So soon after, Coach Cady came to watch me play in an Indiana-Oklahoma All-Star game. Yeah, Indiana-Oklahoma, not what you would think of as a great matchup or a rivalry. So the fact that that All-Star game of polar opposite states even existed is strange enough. But add to it that was the only year that that game ever took place. So obviously it never developed into anything. Shocking, I know. After speaking with Coach Cady at the game, he offered me a scholarship. I did still have one more recruiting trip to take at the time, so I said, I'll get back to you as soon as I get back from that trip. Needless to say, that last visit didn't end up being the place for me either. So I worked up the courage to call Coach Cady to accept his offer to come to Chadron State. Worked up the courage doesn't do justice for what it took for me to make that call. You see, if you would have asked my parents which of their 4 kids would be most likely to go to college, 16 hours from home, sight unseen, yes, never went there to even look at the campus, my name wouldn't have been even in the top 4. All right, 4 kids, my name would not have made the list. But my love for basketball and intense desire to continue to play outweighed my anxiety at the moment, and I'm sure glad it did. From the moment I arrived at CSC, I have been beyond blessed. I was blessed with great coaches, awesome teammates, caring professors, and college support staff who provided a quality educational experience, and a small but friendly community who made me feel welcomed. By the time I left, I found a second home. I would just like to share some special words about some of those people who helped me stand here today. To Coach Cady, I hope you know this by now, but you changed my life. I am convinced God made our paths cross because he knew that you were the person that I needed at that time to help me step out of my comfort zone. It is a gift that has continued to fill my heart well beyond basketball ever since. The confidence you had in me gave me confidence to utilize my talents to the utmost ability. You made me a better person on and off of the basketball court. I can never thank you enough for believing in me. I am so grateful for the relationship we have today. You, Ruth, Aaron, Trent, Ty, and Jordan will always be considered a part of my family. I love you all. To Coach Ryder, thank you for coming in and making a tough coaching change as seamless as possible for me. You challenged me to continually find ways to make myself a better player. You had an incredible knack for getting the most out of each and every one of your players, and it definitely translated into incredible success. I am most proud of our team accomplishment of winning the RMAC regular season championship during my senior year. That was Chadron State's first ever for any sport, by the way. So if you ever have a trivia question, it's not the football team. The memories we made during that season will always be held dear to my heart. To my teammates, and bear with me because I think this is important. Shonda, Kim B., Cindy, Janice, Terry N., Karen, Barbie, Marsha, Gail, Amy, Stacy, Tish, Noelle, Libby, Angie, Lori, Linda, Maggie, Stephanie, Tess, Shauna, Lorna, Terry H., Bridget, Dawn, Marcy, Janelle, Ginger S., Kim W., Aaron, Lisa, Ginger B., Heather, Michelle, Sarah, Lacey, Jen, Jeannie, and Daisha. You ladies definitely deserve a lot of the credit for me standing here today. We spent a lot of time together on and off of the court. We shared blood, sweat, and tears, victories and defeats. Through it all, we developed a special bond, or sisterhood, if you will, that we will forever share. I thank you for pushing me every day, and I will forever cherish each and every one of you and the memories we made. To Con Marshall, the longtime sports information director at Chadron State. Throughout my career, and even still today, you have been my biggest fan. You always had something nice to write about me, no matter the circumstance. You were the internet, Twitter, Facebook, and everything else that didn't exist during my career, that didn't to promote me and provide my family with pictures and articles, since they didn't get to see nearly as many games as they would have liked to, being so far away. I value the friendship we have today, and I will always be appreciative for everything you have done for us, for me. And finally, to the Chadron community, for cheering me on and making me feel very welcome. Without these people, I never go to Chadron State. Without these people, I never excel at Chadron State. And without these people, I don't stay at Chadron State. But it is because of these people that I stand here before you today. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you again, and go Eagles.